There's a real chance the lockdown will be lifted before the virus runs its course to prevent far more deaths caused, in the long run, by poverty from the economic destruction. The cost of freedom is never cheap, and everyone hates wars because so many die. But the balance of deaths now versus the next 20 years from economic ruin are starting to look a lot like the choice to drop the A-bomb, which was to kill a lot of people now to save millions going forward. Hello and welcome to the Tea Party Hardy channel, where the party is just getting started. Current events looked at through a skeptical eye using science, history, and sometimes humor to explore the events of the day. Let's get down to business. Poverty has always been the world's greatest killer, far above any other cause, and shifting people from well off, or even just doing okay, to actually poor and without means for shelter, food, and the pipe dream of getting medical care is racing towards all who don't work for the government, the same government who's making a continuous paycheck while putting the rest of the world out of one. Freedom is not free. It never has been and doubtfully ever will be. Millions of people have fought and died for it. Many never got it, or for very long. Spartacus, the Roman slave, fought for his freedom, but was eventually captured and crucified. Americans had a revolution where many of their greatest died fighting for freedom. And it would follow, for centuries, through more and more battles, that millions would suffer and die to get and keep freedom. Does a never-ending quarantine now pretend to be freedom? Does being forced out of making a livelihood now pretend to be freedom? There's always a cost for freedom, and people going back to work and taking the risk in all that it does to make a living have always been there, and now an extra layer of caution has been added to the mix. But it must be mixed and not nixed. People must work to survive. All creatures must work to survive, minus the precious few who had someone else do it for them, and thus remain in a childlike state, feeding off what someone else has provided for them. The rest must get done what must be done. Farming, building, cleaning, repairing, maintaining, innovating, and so the list goes. We are what we do, and right now, few are doing anything. Is this freedom? This is clearly not an argument between money and death. It is the plain and simple argument between freedom and hiding. Hiding from a contagion that has a lethal striking point, and like all responsible people, those vulnerable should be protected. We have gone far beyond that, with a 95% or higher pull-through rate and nearly as large a rate of people who barely have any effects at all, and then are presumably immune from further effects. A constant lockdown on all is not only wrong, it is cruel. A wise course is one not absent of large amounts of sorrow, but spreading out the sorrow for decades due to ruining lives and sinking hard-working people and taking away from them the ability to go forward to live a healthy life by being both willing and able to work right now cannot be the path chosen. The fight for freedom has stopped in this shutdown. It must be taken back up. Protect the innocent and vulnerable, and let the world get back to what must be done, and let freedom ring, and ring loudly. Don't let poverty kill far more into the future than need be. We hope you enjoyed the content, and if you did, feel free to like, subscribe, come on back anytime. You're always welcome here as part of the family, and we'll see you in the future.